Arcade games just hit different on Nintendo Switch. I can jump in for 15 minutes, lose track of time, and suddenly I have been playing for 2 hours without even noticing. That is why I love this style of game so much. It is pure gameplay, pure replay value, and no wasted time. In 2026, the Switch still has an awesome mix of beat-em-ups, run-and-guns, retro collections, and score-chasing games that feel perfect in handheld or on a TV. So in this video, I am counting down 10 of the best arcade games you can play right now. Some of these are brand new, some are modern throwbacks, and a few are absolute comfort food for anyone who grew up in arcades or with old-school action games at home. Let's get into it. I will be honest, G.I. Joe. Wrath of Cobra is not trying to reinvent anything, and that is exactly why I like it. This is the kind of side-scrolling beat-em-up that knows what it wants to be. You pick your favorite Joe, smash through waves of Cobra troops, and just enjoy the chaos. It has that bright cartoon look, that old-school Saturday morning energy, and it feels like a game made for players who miss the days when arcade action was simple and satisfying. What makes it work for me is the vibe. It feels loud, colorful, and easy to pick up when I want something straightforward after a long day. It may not be the deepest game on this list, but as a pure arcade throwback on Switch, I think it absolutely earns a spot here. This collection is pure nostalgia, but I do not think it only survives on memories. The Disney Afternoon Collection still feels great because these games were built around tight action, clear level design, and that classic one more try loop that arcade fans love. DuckTales, Chip 'n Dale, Darkwing Duck, Tailspin, this lineup is stacked, and the 2026 Switch version adding even more games gives it extra value. What I like most is how easy it is to jump between games depending on my mood. Some days I want a quick platforming run, other days I just want to mess around with a favorite I grew up with. The rewind and save features also make it way less punishing for modern players. For me, this is one of the easiest collections to recommend if you want retro arcade energy without the usual frustration. Brotato is one of those games that sounds ridiculous until you actually play it, then suddenly it completely takes over your free time. The whole idea is simple. You are a potato, you carry way too many weapons, and you survive against non-stop alien waves. But what makes it special is how fast the runs are and how addictive the build variety becomes. Every round feels like a small experiment. Do you go full attack speed, stack weird weapons, play risky, play safe, or build some broken combo that melts everything on screen? That loop is so good on Switch because it fits perfectly in short sessions, but it is also dangerous because short sessions never stay short. I have sat down for one run and somehow kept going way longer than planned. If you love arcade games that hook you fast, Brotato is a monster. Shadow of the Ninja. Reborn feels like a love letter to classic action games, but it does not feel stuck in the past. That is why I rate it so highly. It keeps that old school challenge, the quick movement, the sharp enemy patterns, and the cool ninja style, but it also feels smoother and more polished than a lot of retro revivals. I really like how direct it is. You load in, start moving, start slashing, and the game gets right to the point. No fluff, no wasted time. Just strong arcade action with a lot of personality. The stages are designed to keep pressure on you without feeling cheap, and that balance matters a lot in games like this. For anyone who misses the era of hard but fair action platformers, this one is an easy recommendation. On Switch, it feels right at home. I love when a new game understands exactly why people fell in love with old arcade action in the first place, and Terminator 2D No Fate really gives me that feeling. The pixel art is a huge part of the appeal, but for me, it is more than just looking retro. It captures that chunky, explosive, side-scrolling style that instantly feels familiar if you grew up with action games in the 90s. Getting to play as Sarah Connor, the T-800, and John Connor gives it variety, and the whole thing looks built around quick, intense missions that fit the arcade mindset perfectly. This is the kind of game I want on Switch because it feels made for repeat runs, handheld sessions, and score chasing. If the final game delivers on that old school arcade promise, I can see it becoming a real favorite for retro action fans. Contra? Operation Galuga had a lot to prove because Contra is one of those names that instantly raises expectations. For me, the good news is that this game understands the core of what makes Contra fun. It is fast, explosive, and built around that classic run and gun rhythm where everything can go wrong in seconds if you lose focus. I like that it feels modern without throwing away the identity of the series. The updated visuals, bigger set pieces, and expanded mechanics help it feel fresh, but the heart of the experience is still pure arcade pressure. You are dodging chaos, blasting everything in sight, and trying to survive one more screen. That is exactly what I want from a Contra game. On Switch, it is a great pick for anyone who misses the days when action games were intense, loud, and unapologetically tough. This collection is basically a dream for anyone who loves arcade fighting games. Even without nostalgia, it is hard not to appreciate how much style and speed these games still have. But for me, the real magic is finally having this lineup together on Switch in such an easy, convenient package. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 alone is enough to get people excited, but getting multiple crossover fighters plus the Punisher makes this collection feel bigger than just one famous title. I love collections like this because they remind me how timeless great arcade design really is. You can jump in, pick a team, get destroyed, try again, and still have a blast. That loop never gets old. If you like flashy fighting games, wild rosters, and that unmistakable arcade energy, this is one of the strongest collections on the platform. I need to say this one carefully because this is the one game here that Nintendo currently lists for Switch 2, but I still wanted it in the countdown because it absolutely fits the arcade conversation in 2026. What grabs me about Starship Troopers, Ultimate Bug War, is the attitude. It looks like the kind of game that throws you into non-stop bug blasting chaos and tells you to survive by pure reflex and aggression. That old school spirit is a big part of why it stands out to me. It feels loud, ridiculous, and proudly built around immediate action instead of slow build-up. Sometimes that is exactly what I want. I just want to start a mission, deal with swarms, and enjoy that constant pressure. If you are already in the Switch family and thinking about the newer hardware, this feels like one to keep on your radar. Castlevania Dominus Collection is one of those releases that instantly made me happy because it feels like Konami finally understood what fans wanted. These games deserve to come back, and on Switch they fit beautifully. What pushes this collection so high for me is that it is not just a dump of old games. It actually adds useful features like rewind and quick saves, and that makes the whole experience smoother without killing the challenge. The lineup itself is strong, and Haunted Castle Revisited is such a cool bonus for people who love arcade history. I always come back to collections like this because they remind me how good classic game design can be when the pacing, difficulty, and atmosphere all click together. If you love action games with an arcade soul and a lot of replay value, this collection is one of the best things on Switch. For me, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Shredder's Revenge is still the king of modern arcade gaming on Switch. It just gets everything right. The controls feel sharp, the action is instantly fun, and the pixel art absolutely nails that classic cartoon and arcade vibe without feeling old. Every time I jump back into it, I remember why it became such a favorite so fast. It is easy to pick up, but it has enough charm, speed, and replay value to keep pulling me back in. What I love most is that it feels like a game made by people who truly understand beat-em-ups. It respects the classics, but it also feels fresh, smooth, and full of energy. Whether I am playing solo or with friends, it always delivers that pure arcade rush. On Switch, this is the one I recommend first almost every single time. So that is my list of the 10 best arcade games to play on Nintendo Switch in 2026. This lineup has a little bit of everything: beat-em-ups, retro collections, run and guns, score chasers, and pure old school action. That is why I still love arcade-style games so much. They get right to the fun. Let me know which one you would put at number 1, and also tell me if there is an arcade game on Switch that you think deserves way more attention. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more Switch lists, hidden gems, and recommendations. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.